Welcome in on today's episode, talking about astrology. Astrology. The main theme is the sun in Aquarius. Yeah, excuse me. Astrolog. I'm doing this for me mostly because I said I was going to. We get better with each and every live. Doing the man in the mirror thing today, like Mike Jackson, making a change. Been saying I want to come over here, but no buts. Now we've made the switch. So we're actively working on making the switch here. Not sure what that means, but um, sounds good. 6-7. It's very important that you read the 6-7. You like it? I love it. I've been working so much on regulation of self in addition to doing astrology. I've been also recognizing the importance of longer inhales and longer exhales. I call it self regulation. It's been working for me. Um, Wonder if you can hear me over here. My AirPods just jumped. My AirPods just jumped from one phone to the next. Sun in Aquarius. Moon in Taurus, I think. Oh, that's right. On its way to transit the planet Uranus, I think. I wonder if I can do a green screen on here. Can I? You could do a poll. Can I do a green screen? Is this green screen? I can't do green screen. Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate you for saying have a wonderful day. It already is a wonderful day. I'm just here to share some astrology. That's it. This is the goal. Been doing this thing for quite some time. I was over on TikTok and Tik bopping, and I think that it's still bopping for some people, um, but it stopped bopping for me. I've been telling myself that I've been wanting to come over to YouTube for quite some time, but I was dragging, Jade Dragon, and so now here I am. What would you like to learn? This is the question. This is the question. This is your live. I just turned it on. What do you want to learn? Because it's been a while since I've been on YouTube. You can lead anything astrological. What do you want? What do what doth thoueth wanteth? One of the first things, two things that I would like to share that have been working for me. One is self-regulation. I found so much power in self-regulation. Self-regulation to me, it's been so powerful and it's helped me reclaim my power and taking my time in the beginning and ending of things. And so I started that with the sun in Capricorn. The Capricorn signifies the beginning of a cycle. Because on the December 25th, the days begin to get longer. Some places it's by seconds, some places it's by minutes. Now that the sun is in Aquarius, it's about truth, it's about knowledge. And I've been connecting Aquarius and Taurus together. And I've been saying the knowledge of values, knowing what you're worth, knowing your values and what's valuable to you, in addition to the regulation of self. So that's a very good question. What is going on with this new cycle in Aquarius? Well, mainly this new cycle of Aquarius has a lot to do with Taurus. Has a lot to do with Taurus, and it also has a lot to do with Pisces, symbolically. It has to do with Taurus because in modern rulership, let me back up. In this Aquarius cycle, okay, thank you so much. In this Aquarius cycle, um, planetary rulership is significant. And so Aquarius is ruled in the modern rulership by some say Uranus, some say Uranus, I say Uranus. All right, so Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius. So by looking where Uranus is located gives us an edge on what this Aquarius cycle brings. And so Uranus is in Taurus, which is the sign of values. And in the ancient rulership, Saturn is the planet that rules Aquarius. So Saturn and Uranus location tells us two layers of what this Aquarius cycle brings. Saturn is in Pisces, Uranus is in Taurus. And so if we were to put together, we can connect Aquarius and Taurus, we can connect Aquarius and Pisces. We can connect Taurus and Pisces. There's so many different ways in which we can combine. Um, Sheila, how are you? Good morning. I'm over here on YouTube chatting with the folks. Same name, same icon picture. Come on over. Love to see you over here. So Aquarius, Taurus, and Pisces. And the moon is in Taurus now. So the sun is in Aquarius, the moon is in Taurus. So it kind of amplifies Saturn and Uranus by the sun being in Aquarius. And it amplifies Venus in Aquarius because the moon is in Taurus. Maybe because that's what you've been taught. Maybe. Maybe that's what you've been taught. You might have been taught that, or the negative, you've been taught the negative attributes or character traits of a zodiac sign. I'm of the mind, and I think that it's important to be reminded that there's a positive and a negative to everything. It's dual. Not to focus on one more than the other, or vice versa. The goal is to maintain this neutrality. Allie, how are you? Um, we're over here on YouTube having a blast, reading charts, having a great time. Come on over. Same name, same icon picture. You're gonna love it. See you soon. Um, yeah. And so one of the big parts I think is to maintain neutrality. Because when you weigh too much on the positive or you weigh too much lean over on the negative side, then it creates this imbalance. Creates an imbalance. But I wouldn't say um, that Taurus is a mad and angry energy. I wouldn't say that. I would say that Taurus has to do with the values. And instead of saying positive and negative or good and bad, I've been saying sunny side and shadow side because we're dealing with astrology. We're dealing with the stars. So there's sunny days, there's shadowy days, cloudy days, if you will, which is for the sake of conversation, good and bad. But and getting out of that, out of saying that, just so I don't, just so I can have an idea that I'm outside of a box perspective. It's what's been working for me. Um, thank you so much. If you're here enjoying the live, come on over to YouTube. This is where I'm at. Same name, same icon picture, live. Your mom, come on over to YouTube. We're having a blast over here. So self-regulation. There's so many ways in which to regulate yourself, which is important when you get into astrology because there's so many different components to it, to astrology. I think when I first started, I used to spiral so much because of the simple fact that it was so much and I wanted all of it at once. But I want to slow it down, or I've been working on slowing down, even after 2 decades of looking at this stuff. So um, we could just focus on one piece at a time and exhaust all our remedies, or in layman's terms, look at as much as we can with just one thing, one area, like the sun in Aquarius. Aquarius is the 11th zodiac sign. So what you could do is if you want to have fun with it, you can look to see where you have Aquarius in your chart, if you even know. Does everybody know where Aquarius is located in their chart? Welcome, son. My son. Not my son. Someone's son. Pretty sure or you're sure? We want to be sure. We don't want to be pretty sure. We don't want to be ugly sure. We want to be sure. Because if we start interpreting the energy and then find out that it's in a different location, then we have to recalibrate, reset and recalibrate. Take your time. Aquarius is an air element. There's fire, earth, air, and water elements. Only four. Fire, earth, air, water. Fire, earth, air, water. Fire, earth, air, water. You can make a song out of it. What do you do when your apple walks away? Get another one. Fire, earth, air, water. Fire, earth, air, water. Fire, earth, air, water. Fire, air, earth, water. The air element is said to be and symbolize intellect. So there's one interpretation for the sun's transit in Aquarius is an amplification or a focus on one's intellect. What does that mean? Let's try it. Why not? They got it. They got it. I don't know what this is, but it looks like YouTube is into these questions. So we'll ask a question over here at the same time that we're doing the live. I don't know. Let's have fun. So, intellect, intelligence, knowledge. What does this mean? Doesn't mean that you're only working with knowledge now that the sun is in Aquarius. It's not doesn't mean that we only use our knowledge when the sun's there, but now that the sun is there, to be aware of knowledge and information even more so. Perfect. Let's get that out of there. Believe in luck. Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Welcome in. Namaste. Thank you for the likes. I don't know if you can double tap on here. Bien, gracias. Talking about astrology and Aquarius. Thankful to be on here. Um, being true to myself, actually, while we're talking about truth and intelligence, more so truth and being true to my own self. Said yesterday I was gonna come live in here, and I was like, think I'm just gonna hit the sack. And so before I went to bed, I was like, I'm gonna wake up at 3 and I'm gonna get on here on YouTube. Then I laid back down. I was like, I don't feel like it. And that part of me was like, be true to yourself. What did you say? What did you say to yourself? Oh, you can retract messages on here. This is kind of cool. Now I want to know what you said. So, Aquarius, the sign of knowledge, the sign of intellect, the sign of seeking truth, located in your chart, and it shows where and what is highlighted, what is amplified. Everyone know where Aquarius is located. And there's so much in Aquarius right now. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 planets in Aquarius. See if I can airdrop this. This work. Let's try it. That's a start. That's a start. That's actually good work for you to recognize that. You're actually, according to neuroscience, you're actually um, making a change in the neural pathway. The doll, welcome. I'm over here on YouTube having a blast with the folks. Same name, same icon picture. It may not be hard for you. It may be hard because you're saying it's hard. We can get into that with the power of words and how we say, well, how the things that we say affect us almost immediately. You can realize this, you can recognize this when speaking to children, how much words impact people. I mean, you're challenged with it a little bit. It's caused you to be. I don't need, are you even challenged, or it just takes more discipline? The truth of the matter is, it takes more discipline. That's interesting. Thank you for sharing that. That's what you remember from the reading out of all that I said, that you remember that the words have power. Shantae, how are you? Welcome. I'm over here on YouTube having a blast. Same name, same icon picture. Come on over. It's easy. What if you said that it was easy if you caught yourself and said that it was easy for a week? Try it. Take a picture of it. Okay, that was quick and convenient. Let's see here. Let's do the green screen. Beautiful. Beautiful. Look at all this in Aquarius here. Can you see this? Hope you can see this here. Don't see me on YouTube? It hasn't been that long of a time. One, two, three, four, five. Shantae, come on over to YouTube. Same name, same icon picture. Mars in Aquarius in perfect alignment with Pluto, Sun in Aquarius, Mercury and Venus in Aquarius. Well, they have a slew of interpretations and meanings to them. It has a lot. Simply, um, I'll work with what comes to mind from the slew of traits and interpretations that I have right off the top. This is Mars. Mars has to do with our ability to defend ourselves, right? So, defense, the planet of defense is in the sign of knowledge. So, willing to defend what we know, simply. The planet of transformation in the sign of knowledge. Transformation of what we know. What we know is going through a rebirth. Mercury is the planet of information and logic in the sign of knowledge. So there's a heightened sense of logic and reason and rationale. Venus, the planet of beauty and appreciation in the sign of knowledge. So the appreciation for knowledge. This is not necessarily, this is, I would say this is a class and it's a sharing of interpretations. This is actually a chart of the moment. This is what's happening in the skies. The interesting thing is you can't see this cluster of planets in the sky because the sun, the light of the sun, or the brilliance of the sun takes over the stars here. You can only see the planets when they're far from the sun. Like today, if you look into the sky, if it's clear, you'll see the moon is half. It's like a half moon. But when the moon is close to the sun, you can't see it. You can't see it. But my point is that this next, what is next 23 days, the last 7 days has been about Aquarius traits, which is knowledge and unexpected events and changes. We had the storm, which is unexpected and strange for some, how it took over the whole country by storm, you know. Um, and there's other things that we can see that things are rather strange and crazy, you know. And we can also see it in our behaviors or the behaviors of other people, even. Not for nothing. Not for nothing and for something at the same time. We've had the sudden and unexpected um, change of knowledge, right? Of history, right? Even being taken and redacted, which is crazy. It's different, right? It's sudden, it's unexpected. I just find it interesting that it happened while the sun was in the sign of Aquarius. Um, I'm not gonna put it in the chat because it's the name here. This is the name. It's either the Cosmic Alchemist or Cosmic Alchemist. Take your time. Type it in slower. Maybe you're typing it in too fast. Maybe you're missing a letter. I'm not sure. You say it's sad? I don't say it's sad. I wouldn't say it's sad. I would say it's natural. It's nature. It's a natural order of events. Same lab coat. Same lab coat, same name, same spelling. Missy, I'm over on YouTube. Thank you for the follow. Follow me on YouTube. Having a blast over here. Same name, same icon picture. Yeah, I don't say it's sad. I would say that it's natural, supernatural. Not supernatural, but super natural. And we have 23 more days of this behavior. Look at the circumstances that we have going on over there in Minneapolis, too. People fighting Mars for truth, not for nothing. Look at how Mars is so close to Pluto now. But leading up to today, we've had a series of events. We've had a series of events that have um, shown symbolically people fighting for the truth. We even have the planet of death, which is Pluto. It's where it all started, not for nothing. Ashley, how are you? Welcome. Over here on YouTube, having a blast. Same picture, same name, talking about Aquarius. So, oh, that's pretty interesting. So what I was talking about is this cluster of planets here in Aquarius and the sign of truth and this planet here. I don't know if you can see this planet here. Can I move this? Shit. Oh, I can turn the video off. That's kind of cool. That's cool. But I can't move that. I don't know if you can see this symbol here. It's right next to the moon. Do you see this symbol next to the moon? This symbol next to the moon is Uranus. Some people say Uranus. I don't say Uranus, but you know, Uranus, Uranus, blue angels. I don't know what you mean by blue angels. Uranus is blue, or Uranus is blue in color. So I'm pointing to this planet and this symbol because it connects to Aquarius. Or Uranus is the planet that rules Aquarius. So all this that I've shared with you, each one of these planets, we can imagine that energy not only being in Aquarius, but also being over here in Taurus. So today we can expect some more unexpected behavior. Wow. Well, we wouldn't shake it up. Um it would be a natural happening. It would be a natural something that was is natural. And so just like in this chart, we're looking at Aquarius, even if you have no planets in Aquarius, you can apply all these planets that are in Aquarius and Uranus in Taurus, you can apply that to your chart. Huh. Thank you so much. But shake it up is a phrase that to accurately describe the energy, shaking things up, changes, sudden and unexpected changes uh, based on truths and knowledge and revolution. If it was ever a time of revolution, this energy now denotes it. It's amplified. It's for everybody. It's for the planet, not for nothing. It's a solar systemic energy, meaning that it impacts the entire solar system at once. this Mars and Pluto conjunction here is, I think that speaks to um, some of the events with ice. It's the people. Aquarius is the sign that deals with and speaks to the people. It symbolizes the people. It symbolizes groups. How long till change? Well, we're in the state of change, right? Change is not necessarily, according to the sign of Aquarius, excuse me, change wouldn't fully take place, or change is always happening. But for this Aquarius, once these planets leave Aquarius, then we can say, we've noticed a significant change from back then to now. We would notice a change, right? And so it's amplified now because we have 5 planets in Aquarius. But even after 4 of them leave, Mars, the Sun, Mercury, and Venus, they're going to leave and then go into Pisces and then keep going on their journey. But Pluto's going to stay, still creating this long-term change, transforming things, renewing things, rebirthing things. So if you want to know how it impacts you, what I'm saying is to notice where Aquarius is in your chart. Reset is one word that describes it. The energy, or a complete rebirth, a destruction. Things are getting worse before they get better. So we essentially have, this is the first, well, I don't know if it's the first. I think it's the second time that we've had um planets visit Aquarius while Pluto's here. The shit's gonna kick off every year around this time of the year. It's gonna kick off. It's gonna kick. There's gonna be 4 major times of the kick. Right now we're having a kick here. We're gonna have a kick in the spring. We're gonna have a kick in the summer, and we're gonna have a kick in the fall. And I say they're gonna have those kicks because these are the 4 points that make an aspect or a challenging aspect to Pluto and Aquarius. Called the fixed signs. Aquarius, Taurus, Leo, and Scorpio. Aquarius to Taurus is a 90-degree aspect. From Aquarius to Leo is an opposition. And from Aquarius to Scorpio is another square. So 2 squares and an opposition. This is when you have, they're like trigger points for Pluto and Aquarius. And that gets into aspects a little bit. So we talked about Aquarius. We talked about the ruler of Aquarius, one of them, Uranus and Taurus, and how it speaks to values, how we value knowledge and how we value truth, and what we're willing to rebel for in order for those values, for our true core values. What I didn't talk about is Saturn here. In ancient rulership, Saturn is the ruler, is the second ruler of Aquarius. Saturn is also the ruler of Capricorn as well. So what does this mean? It means that Uranus and Taurus, you know, Uranus and Taurus focuses on values, which stems from truth, and Saturn and Pisces focuses on belief systems when it comes to truth. And if we look around the world, we can see that that's what's happening. And we're experiencing events very closely related to those things, beliefs and values, truth, people revolting for their value, revolting for what they believe in. Hello from Russia. Um, Good morning. I'm talking about astrology over here on YouTube. Same name, same icon picture. Come on over and say Russian. What words do I know in Russian? Нет. I know нет, which means no. I know a couple other words too, but I'll tell you when you get over here on YouTube. And again, I want to share that truth always comes out. It's not that truth only comes out when planets are transiting or visiting or condensed in Aquarius. It's always happening. But I'm of the mind that it's amplified. The energy is amplified a little bit more. Knowledge, values, and beliefs. And through it all, I think that um, self-regulation is the most important thing. I don't know if it's a shout out. Um, I mean, everybody believes in something. If you believe in nothing, then that's your beliefs. It's symbolic. It's interesting because people believe in the signs that they see in their city, even if it's not related to astrology. You see a stop sign, you see a yield sign, you're always listening to signs. There's always signs, you know, signs and seasons. So for the next 23 days, knowing your worth is significant. It's a behavior to essentially be in alignment. A lot of times people come to um, these schools of divination, astrology, tarot for alignment. 23 from today, yeah, 23-ish, or like 22 and a half. You definitely can do it. You've been doing it. Every year you do it. Every single year you do it. Something to be mindful of. Um, you know, with Pluto and Aquarius. Like a lot of people are surprised that um we're experiencing this revolution, revolutionary events that are happening around the world. But it was actually talked about. A lot of people were talking about it. A lot of people were talking about it because, from an astrological perspective, Pluto, right, when this country was reestablished, I say reestablished because this country wasn't established in 1776. So if you believe that, then there might be some more research that we might need to do. However, when this country, United States, was reestablished, Pluto was at like 26 degrees of Capricorn. It's at 3 degrees of Aquarius now. 26 degrees of Capricorn is really close to 3 degrees of Capricorn. It's not far away. But like 5 years ago or something like that, 5 or 6 years ago, Pluto came back to the place that it was when this country was reestablished, 1776. It takes Pluto 248 years to go completely around the the zodiac, if you will. And so we were talking about, or there was talk about this revolutionary change that occurred when the country was reestablished. And so, you know, everything what goes around comes around, and Pluto came back around. And so now we're experiencing the energy that's similar to the reestablishment of the country in 1776. And so it's amplified when the sun is like a magnifying glass, not for nothing, symbolically. It's not a magnifying glass, but we can look at it as such. And it amplifies these things. Also, if you were to examine your last week, in some regards, you would be able to pick apart phases or moments where you looked at things a little bit deeper, if you will. Pluto is a planet that takes a long time to complete its cycle. To say that it's slower than other planets, but slow is perspective, slow and fast are perspective. I know what you mean, though. I definitely know what you mean. But Pluto brings depth to knowledge. Pluto is the change, the transformation. Notice this circle, this symbolism here. It's a circle like hovering with a moon. It's really not it doesn't look like a moon, but it's supposed to be a moon, a crescent holding a circle, kind of like a mother holding a child, if you will. But the child is not connected to the mother, not for nothing. So it's in a state of change and transition. You know? The state of transition and change through knowledge or the lack thereof. 40 tabs open, possibly. I'm not sure how you're a Gemini and an Aries unless you're talking about your sun is a Gemini and the moon is an Aries, but um, that's an interesting combination. Gemini Aries. That's an interesting combination. Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting. Definitely gonna be interesting. Oh, Gemini Sun, Aries rising. Okay, there it is. So if we were to use you as an example, can I use you as an example with this Aquarius energy? So Aquarius, right? If we were to look at Aries is over here. I'm completely in the way. So Aries is here, right? And this is your rising sign. So you have this symbol over here on the ascendant in the first house, first compartment, right? I'm not going to pull up another chart and put Aries over here. I'm just going to keep Aries here and I'm going to count backwards. If Aries was the rising sign, then Pisces would be your 12th house, right? And then Aquarius would be your 11th house. Are we on the same page so far? Okay, so the 11th house, which is here, I'm pointing down here because Aquarius is down here. I'm not saying that this is the 11th house because clearly Aquarius is in the second house in this chart. Excuse me. But you have Aquarius in the 11th house. So, how I shared with you that the sun and all these planets are in Aquarius, it amplifies Aquarius and our values and our beliefs. For you specifically, right? Because Aquarius is in the 11th house, it's a highlight of your goals because the 11th house correlates to goals, your dreams, your aspirations, even. It even points to friends. What about your friend? Are they gonna be around? Are they gonna let you down? That song is part of the chorus because Pluto, this is the planet of rebirth and change to friends, right? And all this revolutionary energy with your idea of friends and goals that you're setting. This is vision, goals, and friends, right? Vision boards, the creation of vision boards, whether you make the vision board or you have it in your mind, you know, this is the focus for you as an 11th house, as not an 11th house, but as Aquarius is in the 11th house of your chart, is what I was trying to say. Right. And so there's a connection. Let's make the connection now because 11th house is goals and friends. Right. And remember, I said Taurus is values. Right. So it's your friends and your worth specifically. Like you're measuring, you're weighing, you're learning, and you're growing, right? Through your goals and your dreams and your aspirations about friends and community action and your worth. Is it worth it? Is it worth it for me to engage with this group anymore? Right? And that's the modern ruler. And even today, even yesterday, you may have had a moment where you're like, huh, I'm worth a whole hell of a lot more than I thought I was. Or perhaps I should exercise my worth because the moon is in Taurus here, pressing upon Uranus here. You see what I'm saying? and it's in your second house, in the house of worth. You have Taurus in the second house as an Aries rising. Taurus is in the second house. So what I was talking about Aquarius and Taurus, where it's in the second house and the sixth house here in your chart, it's in the 11th house and it's in the second house. Your worth, measuring your worth with your friends, and is it worth it? Engage. And remember Saturn. Saturn in Pisces is the beliefs, right? Because you've been hurt, right? Already from some, maybe one of the friends, maybe. I don't know. But because Saturn is in Pisces here, and it speaks upon your belief, you're working with and learning how to believe in yourself. This is something that has been energetically present over the course of the past 2 years. Over the course of the past 2 years, because Pisces is your 12th house. So you have Saturn. Oh, wow. Neptune is in Aries as of yesterday. It just shifted. Even more powerful. That's even more powerful for yesterday. Not for nothing. Because now Neptune is in your first house. We'll get into that at a later video. Energetically. So that's a little bit of how um, the interpretation is with an individual chart. An individual chart. And so over the course of the next 23 days, 22 and a half days, while the sun is here, it's still going to be highlighting values. It's to value yourself, like even to say, you know what I mean? One of your goals might be to speak your affirmations. You notice how much power that you're able to reclaim by, speaking your truth, even if nobody's around, and speaking your truth out loud and on purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like, hi, mommy. What's your name? Mommy and Toby Faxes. I, mommy and Toby Faxes, am powerful. I am worth it. I am this. I am that. I am that. I am. You know, it's actually speaking it. Not for nothing. In addition, I say not for nothing and for something at the same time. And in addition, the zodiac sign Taurus, right, is connected physiologically to the voice box. So when you get the feeling, or a tool that you could use, or an exercise that you can use, now that I'm realizing that physiologically Taurus, which is the sign of values, physiologically has to do with the voice box, the holding of a note, right? The speaking of affirmations helps. And also even humming is perfect. Like, I read somewhere, or I seen a video somewhere that was talking about like the chanting, like, oh, like just holding that note does something for the vagus nerve, and it's like a regulator, which ties back to the uh, beginning of the show when I was talking about regulation and the importance of regulation, self regulation, right? That hum energetically can be something that tethers you to your value and valuing yourself when you come into challenging circumstances with friends or people that are saying, oh, or they make you feel that you're not worth it. They can't really make you feel that you're not worth it, but if something arises in you from an interaction with someone where you're feeling tested or challenged or your worth is being diminished, they're gonna be like, what the hell are you doing? I'm humming. Why are you humming? Stop that. No, this is what I'm doing. I was prescribed this on YouTube today by this brown guy who had this chart. You should come through next time. Uh, Singing works. Anything that deals with the voice box. Like you can hum a song. It doesn't, you don't have to hold a note. That's kind of boring. You can hum your favorite song. Serves the same purpose. It's the hum. Just by humming, you're activating the vagus nerve. Don't believe anything that I say. Check it out for yourself. The physiology of the vagus nerve and self-regulation. The vagus nerve and calming behavior. You know, the vagus nerve and the parasympathetic nervous system. You can. Those are some things that you can. Those are some keywords that you can look up. And I'm connecting astrology to the physiology and anatomy and physiology for self-regulation, yeah, empowerment, actually. And so that's on focus for you. As an Aries rising, the sun in Aquarius highlights the 11th house and the goals. Uranus in Taurus amplifies the values, same simultaneously, goals and values, as long as you're um, reaching your goals, setting goals, and reaching those goals little by little, that you're gaining value, you're gaining worth, and to acknowledge that with inside of yourself too, to acknowledge that. You know what I'm saying? And in addition, your rest too. Saturn in Pisces over the course of the past 2 years has it hasn't done anything to you, but symbolically, right? Saturn in Pisces in the 12th house may have symbolically, we can interpret that symbolically as being an energy that has potentially caused you to look at um, some of the things that you don't particularly care about with yourself, some things that you don't like about yourself, and to like work on making sense, right? Like your moral compass, maybe, or integrity, or more integral, right? Maybe you recognize over the course of the past 2 years that, going back to the worth, right? Over the past 7 years, not for nothing. If we look back, we want to go back, we're going to go back 7 years. Uranus has been in Taurus for the past 7 years. So there's been a change of your finances, which, automatically causes sudden and unexpected changes due to the finances, force an individual to look at themselves. What do I truly value? I'm making $1 million a month. Now I'm making a quarter of that. Now I really have to see what's worth it to me, as far as what I'm going to buy. You know what I'm saying? So Saturn and Pisces is start to look at these things like, oh wow, hmm, you know, is it about the material or is it about the spiritual? Am I going to connect more about to my spiritual side? The 12th house has to do with spirituality. You know, in layman's terms, the inner conversation. That which is within. You can say spiritual, you can say religious, whatever. We could. It's a whole nother video, but um, symbolically, we can interpret the 12th house as this place of solitude. And where are you by yourself? We're mostly by ourselves internally. Thus, the internal conversation, the internal dialogue is 12th house-ish. So you've been learning many lessons, Saturn, because Saturn is a lesson, right? And the inner dialogue. Not anybody is not necessarily saying, hey, mommy, you stop that. It's more so you. Oh, there's the woe is me. I see what you're saying. I wonder when I gave you that reading. When was that reading? Was it within the past 2 years? It was last year. Interesting. Don't be let that's interesting. That is a banger then. That was a banger for you. Stop feeling miserable for yourself, or when you do feel miserable for yourself, feel it. You know what it makes me think of? It makes me think of the movie The Matrix. Trinity dove through the window. She spun the agent was chasing her. She was running and she was on top of the building, agent bucking at her. Ah, ah. And she jumped off the building and she turned. She turned into the and then she turned around and she had the strap drawn and she was telling herself, she was like, "Get up, Trinity. Get up, Trinity. Get up." Because she had a little bit of fear. She had a little bit of fear for the agent coming through the window after her. She was like, "Get up, Trinity. Get up, Trinity." That's the Saturn energetic in the 12th house. And as opposed to you feeling this fear, that you get up and you do the humming and then you go back to the goals, right? You feel your feels, maybe you write it out. Maybe you write it out. Another thing, um, too, with Aquarius and with all this energy in Aquarius, too, and it being in the 11th house, it activates the third house and it activates the seventh house, right? So what does that mean? It means that um you're writing about what it is that you're grateful for. Oh, you watched it again today? Wow, powerful. You're writing about what it is that you've achieved, like even the small things, like a gratitude list. Gratitude lists do so much for us. Excuse me. Gratitude lists do so much. And being around people that make you feel good. All right. I'm gonna take a break. Thank you all so much for being here. Hit the notifications so that you can know when I'm live in case you want to. If it's been amazing, I'm glad that it's been amazing. Go to some of my videos and like them. That's how you can show support. Um, I would love to do this full time. And with the help of y'all, I can. Awesome. Ask questions on the comments too. That's the secret key that nobody knows. Now that you've caught me live, the key, the secret, and the key is um the secret key is to ask questions in the comments. Hello. Say it again. Okay, no problem. Follow me on YouTube. Do you see my name up here? I'm on YouTube. I'm live on YouTube right now. Same name, same picture. All right. Thank you. All right. All right. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate you.